What's going on, guys? Shane here.
Oh man.
Today we're talking about how to beat a big puncher. For those of you who don't recognize Ant here, he's been in the very first fightTIPS videos back in 2005, 2006. And he kind of adopted the personality of the guy, the street thug that throws those big, heavy haymaker hook punches. So we thought, since Ant's been training, fightTIPS has been evolving, let's take this to the ring. How to beat a big puncher in kickboxing and MMA. Let's take a look. Okay, so the first strategy is throwing high roundhouse kicks, and when we throw them, we're going to put a lot of forward pressure into them, so it's going to do that Thai-style round kick to knock them off balance and pin their arms to their chest. So we're going to demonstrate first from an open stance. Open stance means our hips are both facing in the same direction, so orthodox versus southpaw, southpaw versus orthodox. If I were to close the stance, it looks like this, right? So we're going to first demonstrate here because it's the easiest way to understand it. I'm throwing the roundhouse kick, like I said, almost aiming for the shoulders because I want to shut down the big puncher's weapons, his punches, right? So I'm going here and I'm pushing him. You can see it's off balance, right? So if he's not on balance to set up his punches, then I'm shutting that down. And also, I'm using my heavy weapons, right? My round kick, my shin against his forearms. You can break the forearms or you can just shut down the muscles, and then he's not going to have his hard punches, right? So that's the number one, is know to throw the round kick to the forearms like that over and over and over and over again. This is one that even most MMA and kickboxing commentators don't know. They're throwing that kick a little too high and they're not hitting the ribs, or they're throwing it a little too low and they can't hit him in the head. No, they're throwing it in the right spot. They're trying to break down on the forearms. So if he's orthodox, I'm orthodox. If he switches his stance, we're now in a closed stance now. I can do the same thing and get that same angle by just shuffling and throwing a switch kick. And again, I'm going to put a lot of hip into it so that I can push him back off balance and do damage to his forearms. If he already gets the punches off, let's say he throws a jab cross, I'm going to parry the jab and I'm still going to do that same thing. Throw the kick at his now open ribs on the cross, right? Every time you throw a punch or a kick, you're exposed. When Ant throws that cross, you can see this side of his body is open. So I'm going to move away from the punch, boom, and I'm going to throw the kick to the ribs at the same time. So if it's a jab cross, parry the jab, boom, keep the hand up, shoulder high, and go to the open ribs. All right, next up is utilizing the front push kick or the TAEP. So our longest ranged attack against the puncher, right? So if Ant were to throw a punch, the jab, and I throw my TAEP, it's much longer, right? I have all this extra distance. So don't let him close off the range. Keep him at bay with that TAEP. So I can TAEP to the chest, I can TAEP to the face, I can TAEP to the stomach, but I can also TAEP to the hip, right? That lead hip here. Boom. Very frustrating. Again, knocking him off balance, keeping him at bay, and I can also TAEP right above the knee too. Again, when he steps in for that punch, if you're doing this, it's very, very hard to find your distance. And then you're hesitant because you know you're going to step in. There's a possibility of getting your knee hyperextended. That is a great way to keep that puncher at bay, just constantly TAEPing here, TAEPing here. All right, boom. You can even throw this oblique kick, right? Boom, fake here, and then come right on top of the knee. Third strategy now is setting up knees, and we're going to do that with strategy from number 2, faking the TAEP, right? So if I'm throwing this TAEP the whole fight, right, I'm keeping him at bay, he's going to start defending against it, whether it's with a parry or some sort of evasion, or maybe he's going to try to rush through. Either way, when I start doing this, he's going to react. We're going to get some type of reaction. So when I do this, I can now march in to that knee. And on top of that, I can pin his arms to his chest. So let's say he's loading up for these punches, he's got his guard tight. I'm gonna fake here and literally just hold on to them. If I have boxing gloves, I go right on top of the knuckles. If I have these MMA gloves, I literally grab the wrist and then boom, go for what's open now, the body. What I like doing is faking the left TAEP, the right knee, and I can cover a ton of distance by throwing then a left knee. So it looks like this. I fake, boom, and then I really march into that. When you see someone doing this to you, it's like, I know something's coming. So trap those hands. Once you're close enough to land your knee, boom, then you can really spike going all the way through to the spine. Now this is one that we've been teaching for years. Ant's been doing it in videos. It's the up elbow, rushing in, running into the fire, right? It's going to be scary. You got this big heavy puncher throwing these haymakers, and if they are wider shots, then this one works perfect. Let's say Ant throws a big right hand. Boom, I'm going to step in and just cover my head at the same time that I ram my elbow into his face. Like I said, you're going to be hesitant moving into that. You're going to want to move away. But that's the worst thing that you can do. If Ant's winding up with this big shot and I move away, boom, it's going to hit me, right? Boom, keep going. But if I step in, covering my head, it doesn't even have to have any power on it. Just make sure it lands. Boom, that right there is going to cut, or it's just going to do a ton of damage. All right, so stepping in with that lead up elbow is one of the best that you can practice. The fifth and final strategy now is clinching or shooting in for a shot. Ant is most dangerous at the end of his punches, right? You got the jabs, the crosses, the uppercuts, the hooks. We call this the hula hoop range, right? Coach Trevor Whitman talks about this. This is where I don't want to be, right here. I either want to be outside the hula hoop with my teeps and round kicks, or I want to be inside the hula hoop, right? Shutting down these punches, tying up, clinching up. Right here we call this the steering wheel position. So I'm grabbing onto his triceps and my hands are on the inside. His are on the outside. All right, so from here I want to pin his arms close to his body. Again, nullifying those punches. I can work my knees to the body here. I can work sweeps. I can work my up elbows like we talked about before. If you're fighting a guy, maybe you don't feel comfortable in the clinch, or maybe you're a better wrestler, go underneath of his punches. When he comes in with those big shots, time it so I go underneath, and then I can take him down, right? But either way, I'm nullifying the punches. So don't stand where it's dangerous. Figure out what that range is. Either be on the outside, be on the inside, or go underneath. All right, guys, thanks for watching. So again, if you're fighting a big puncher, practice these strategies in sparring, in drills. You notice range and nullifying the weapons, the punches, is what it comes down to. Until next time, I'm Shane.
I'm Sunburnt.
Fight tips for the underdogs. I'm gonna go under the shots.
Winging this ever since the beginning, you lie. A little heavy there for you.
Oh, you landed right on my heel. Oh my God. Outline of my heel right there.
I can't tell.